Okay, good morning, everybody. This is Anis, and today is the 7th of November, and it's going good. So, when I start out, I'd like to start out with a big shout out to a guy called Tim Ferriss, who doesn't know I exist, but I have heard him a lot. He hosts a podcast called The Tim Ferriss Show, and a lot of the people he interviews on that and the stuff he talks about has really helped me get to writing this novel. Uh, so his philosophy on life is that he has no long-term goals, which sounds very strange, I know, but he lives his life by a series of 2-week experiments and 6-month projects. And the philosophy is that it takes about 2 to 4 weeks to understand whether or not you really do like X or Y, whatever it is, right? So me taking 4 weeks off to write this novel is going to not produce a novel, definitely, for the most part of it, but it will help me understand whether I hated absolutely every moment of writing it or whether I can stomach the pain and torture it is to be a novelist. And I mean, this is the easy part actually, writing the first draft, like the pain of going to the second and third draft and possibly going and meeting editors and all of that and doing the marketing is actually a even bigger pain in the butt. So, can I stomach that? So that's what I'll get to know now. Another thing I went back to his interview with Seth Godin, who's a marketing guru and who has an excellent blog. At just type Seth in Google and you'll find it. So he was talking about entrepreneurship, and he was actually saying that look, it costs very little to find out what you really love. So in my case, it cost me the price of a couple of pens and 60, 70, 80 hours of my time for this month. So that's not a lot, really speaking. But this is what he goes on to say, that people are really scared to find out what they really want. So people are really scared to find out what they really want. And in this context, what it means is that people would be scared to find out that, okay, 4 weeks over, now I think I'm a novelist. Now what do I do with this knowledge? Isn't that scary? Like you think you're a closet painter or a singer, and these are professions which are not very accepted in the society. So then if you suddenly say that I want to become a painter, what are your parents going to say? What are they going to say to their parents? What are the neighbors going to say? And all those dirty questions which you don't want to really get into. So it's a part of managing expectations. So I'm not a saint. I'm not saying that I'm managing this 100%. But the idea is that you don't look to see what's going to happen, 6 months down the line. Are you going to become a novelist? No. The first idea is to figure out whether you can write a novel, and that's the end of this questioning, right? There's nothing else that's going to come out of this line of thought. I also went to this little place called Pagdandi Book Cafe, which is actually a little library, and they have a lovely cafe there, and a lot of local writers get together. So every Sunday morning they have a writers meet up there, and I met a couple of ladies who was a big reality. It was a big reality check for me because these are published writers who are struggling to publish their third and fourth and fifth books. So just a reminder that it isn't really a bed of roses when you go out in the world and try to sell your wares, whatever you may be. You may be an entrepreneur, you may be a businessman or a businesswoman, or you could be a writer or anybody who's working on freelance. And it's not easy to sell your wares when you're living in a salaried job. You're not worried about whether the customers are walking in through the door. That's somebody else's headache, and I still get my paycheck at the end of the month. If I'm on this end where I have to actually my income depends on the fact of whether customers are walking in, then that's a very different ball game altogether. So I'm going to keep it short for today. The update for word count is 9,500 words. I'm falling a little bit short, but I'm not so worried. I'll cover up over the next few days. So that's it from me today. I'll see you guys in a couple of days.